Hello folks, thank you for joining us at Urban Rider once again. We have another top 5 for you. This time, sadly, we're heading into colder temperatures, so it needs to be a little bit more on the practical side, which is why we've compiled 5 of our favorite jackets for winter usage in 2021. They all do things differently. There are a few curveballs in there as well, which I will explain. Please let us know if you agree or disagree with our list down below, but without any further ado, let's begin. Let's start with a simple one then in the Revit Shade. This is new to us this year. It is a textile jacket. Textile is a great choice for your winter riding. This is waterproof as well, but the water doesn't quite stick or adhere to this kind of fabric as easily as it might well do to leather, for example. I'll explain a little bit more on that in a few moments. But the big selling point to this one is that it is £169.99. It is fantastically affordable and a great commuter option. Obviously it is a shorter style of jacket, but it's still going to be warm. You have the Hydrotex waterproof liner inside this. Waterproofing obviously is going to be important as we get to these colder months. And then you've got a removable thermal liner if you want to include it or take it out, it depends, but it does open this up to a few more riding seasons. Obviously when it starts to get warm, you can take that out and it will still function really well. But in the winter, that's going to keep you nice and toasty. And when we're talking about safety, this jacket is CE Level A approved. You have Level 1 armor in your elbows and your shoulders. There's no back armor included, but it has got a pocket if you want to put their armor in there. Within your arms, you have their C-Smart armor, very flexible, very comfortable, and you'd barely recognize that it actually has armor in this at all because it is so slimline, which is great if it is a commuter jacket for you. If you don't like this colorway, they have a few to choose from. With us, you can either get it in green, blue, or black. When it comes to the sizing though, with this one, probably ahead of any of the other ones we're going to mention today, you will want to check the sizing with this. The sample that we've got here is a little bit on the smaller side. I say a little bit, noticeably on the smaller side. So it's the large that we have here that fits me perfectly, and I'm a 38-inch chest. Generally speaking, I'm around a medium normally in most other brands. That's why we have that size guide though on the website. So if you are going to order one of these for yourself, check that out before you place your order. But I will say again, the key features to this jacket, aside from its practicality, its functionality, is the price point of £169.99. For an urban commuting option in the winter, it's a great choice. Next up, we have something from British manufacturer Merlin. This is the Expedition. Before I get on to explaining this, let me just say that I could very easily have filled a top 5 winter jackets with Merlin and Merlin alone. They make some great jackets, and that will only improve. In fact, we've got some new stock coming from them. We have their Explore collection arriving imminently, not quite with us yet, but that will elevate their stock even further, in my opinion. If we start though with the jacket I have in front of me, this is the Merlin Expedition. It is obviously a wax cotton jacket. This is heritage looking, very differently styled to the Revit I showed you previously. And the reason we've gone with this one, as I say, they've got lots to choose from and they're all very, very good, is because this one stands out a little bit more. It is more unique in its styling, but this one at least stands out on its own. I really like it for that. You'll want to know the price, of course. This is £319. Brilliant value for money when you think of the safety and the features that you get here. It's a fantastically versatile jacket. This is Level A approved, so it's a safe jacket. It's got Level 1 armor from D3O, quality stuff in your elbows and your shoulders, and back armor included, which often a lot of manufacturers won't include, so that really is nice for the price. The abrasion resistance and some of the waterproofing is going to be found from this 12-ounce Halley Stevenson Scottish silk wax cotton. It's a mouthful to say, but that is coated so that it is water repellent. Within that then you have a fully waterproof liner. You have their Recent Active waterproof liner, which is removable and is backed with a 125-gram thermal liner as well, so it's nice and warm and waterproof, which is very important, obviously, when you get into the winter. It comes in either black or olive. The olive, I believe, has proven a little bit more popular for us. I can sort of see why. The black's lovely, let me just say that, but I do like the offset of the brown leather accents mixed with that olive wax cotton. You have lots of pockets across this. too many to mention realistically, but some of them very obvious from the front there. You can see most of them on the front. Some not so obvious. You've got some on your sleeve. You actually have one on the backside just above your hip as well, so lots of storage. And then a few of the things you might well think are pockets are actually vents. So as well as this being really good for the winter, if you want to wear it in these slightly warmer months, you have got a lot of venting there as well. So you've got a lot of control over your temperature. We have had some feedback on this with the sizing. It's important that I say that we check the sizing. We do take your feedback. We do take customer feedback as well. We had something to say that the wrists were slightly on the tighter side. Now we have checked that. We don't think that is the case actually. We haven't found it uncomfortable at all. But if you have any questions or comments or any additions to the sizing, obviously please do let us know. We find that invaluable. But I will reiterate, the big feature with this one is its practicality, its versatility, and if for any reason this isn't to your liking, do check out the rest of Merlin's range because they again are fantastically practical and they've got lots and lots of different styles. We are confident you will find one that you like. Sticking with Merlin, we have one of our first curveballs, arguably, in that this is a leather jacket. This is the Merlin Gable, and leather isn't the most obvious choice when you're thinking of your colder or wetter weather riding. Well, let me park that just for a second while I explain some of the outlining features of this. First and foremost, it comes in either black or oxblood in this lovely satin kind of finish, a very soft finish to it. The cowhide leather is 1.3 to 1.4 millimeters thick. That makes this a very safe jacket as well because it is CE AAA approved, which is currently as high as they test. You'll have heard me say that before. And you also get armor included in your arms, your elbows, your shoulders, and your back on this one, which a lot of manufacturers will forego, all for just under £400 as of the making of this video. So why don't we often recommend leather jackets for winter riding? Well, predominantly, they aren't that great for waterproofing. They aren't that great for temperature either, arguably, but that is all about to change when I explain the features of this one. So this is obviously waterproof, and it does that via a laminated waterproof and breathable membrane, which is bonded to the leather. That is important because often what you'll find with some waterproofing, a lot with leather jackets, is they will use a drop liner, which is very separate to the outer shell, and that allows the outer leather to get heavily saturated, which one makes it heavy and therefore uncomfortable. It also makes it really cold and it takes a long time to dry out. Because this has that waterproof membrane bonded to the leather, the water won't sit on it quite the same, so you somewhat mitigate that risk of this getting oversaturated. That's your wet weather riding sorted, but what about the colder temperatures? Well, you have a thermal liner on this. It is removable. It's a 125 gram thermal liner, which goes the full way down your sleeves as well, and that's going to keep you nice and toasty. As I say though, if you do want to take it out, you have the option to do so, and you have got a vent on the chest there as well. If it's slightly warmer, you'll allow some airflow through there and make it a bit more comfortable. It isn't going to be the most breathable of jackets though, because it also has waterproof zips, so it won't allow a lot of air in. Obviously that's great in the colder or wetter temperatures, not so great in the summer. For a brilliantly safe and very fashionable leather option in the winter then, the Merlin Gable is definitely worth your attention. If you're wondering about the size on this one, we've found them to be pretty true to size. Next in our list then, we have an offering from Bellstaff. This time we've gone with the Roberts 2. This is obviously the second iteration of that jacket. And like the Merlin collection, we have lots to choose from with the Bellstaff range. We've got lots of different options, most of which we've already mentioned. So the reason we've gone with this is to champion something maybe a little bit left field, a little bit different from them. This a slightly more modern take on their classic designs. If you want to go for a slightly longer jacket, obviously you've got things like the Trailmaster Pro. If you want to go for a slightly shorter, you've got the Brooklands Pro as well. And then the Roberts, similar to the Brooklands, same kind of shape, same kind of fit, but it is just slightly more modern looking. It comes in at £475. It has a CE level A certification, and it has level 1 armor in your elbows and your shoulders from D30. All pretty normal stuff. It's also obviously waterproof, very important in British weather. I can actually hear, in fact, that it is raining now. It wasn't at the start of this recording, and it wasn't supposed to today, but that just shows you the unpredictability of the weather. You never can tell, so especially in the winter, you want your jackets to be waterproof. With the Roberts, you have a MyPorex waterproof membrane on the inside for your full waterproofing, and on the outside, as you'll expect from that brand, you have a wax cotton. So you have British Millerain Tech Wax on this one. It's 8 ounce. It's not the heaviest. You will need to layer up on the inside of this one a little bit for your warmth when it does start to get colder. But that fabric is of course going to be water repellent. And quite a nice thing about this one, it's described as having a matte finish. Quite a lot of the time when you use wax cotton jackets, you'll find they have an oily texture, or at least they can. And I think one of the things that definitely elevates Bellstaff ahead of a lot of its competition for me is the fact that their jackets don't have a particularly oily finish. They don't leave any deposits on your fingers. You have some lovely subtle little features and accents across this. You've got a big chunky zip on the front there as well. And then the snap on the bottom there, you may well have noticed, has a rubbery coating to the outside of it, which makes it kinder to paintwork, which is a lovely little addition, a nice consideration. Lastly, it's worth mentioning the corduroy as well that you've got around your wrists and your neckline. And the fit on this, which again we found to be pretty true to size, 38-inch chest for myself, and I wear the medium in this nice and comfortably. As it is priced at £475, you'll probably want to know, and I would want to know too, if there is a quality difference between this and slightly cheaper jackets of a similar type. And the easy answer is yes, there is. It's really subtle. It's always a very difficult thing to explain. You'd need to have them in your hands and try them on back to back to really understand perhaps what I mean. But honestly, when you try them on back to back, you can feel there genuinely is a quality difference. Only you will know if it's justifiable against that price, which is why, of course, we show you a variety. But if you want a really stylish, brilliant heritage jacket for the winter, this is a decent choice. And Bellstaff as a whole is a great one to look at. And last but not least, we have a proper curveball with the Knox Urbane Pro Mark II. And no, I haven't forgotten that this is a top winter jackets review. This is here to represent the idea of layering, something that Knox truly believe in with their clothing. Let's start by fundamentally explaining what this jacket is. In essence, this is an abrasion-resistant and armoured underlayer to be worn on the bike, either by itself or with something over the top. Now in the summer that's great, it's highly vented, it has that Aeronet mesh fabric which allows a lot of airflow through. It's obviously very form-fitting, so you might want to put a shirt or t-shirt over the top of that to make it a bit more discreet, but for our purposes today and for winter riding, you can stick any kind of warm jacket you want over the top as well. Or you can couple it by buying one of their waterproof outers from Knox, or anyone else really. We've got a few from Oxford as well, which you can put over the top of this. And there are more than a few benefits to doing that, starting with the armour. Of course, this has fantastic armour, probably our favourite armour here at Urban Rider, and that is the Knox Microlock armour. It's level 1 in your elbows and your shoulders, level 2 in your back protector, and that goes extensively down your back, so it's nice and safe, and it works across a larger range of temperatures than some rivals and competitors. Because it is so form-fitting and snug, it keeps the armour exactly where it should be, which again makes you safer in a crash. And as anyone who is seasoned in British weather will know, layering up is often the best choice for insulating yourself. It allows a pocket of air to be trapped inside the jacket to move around. Essentially, it could well be the only jacket you need, depending on what you couple that with. It's a great way to have versatility on somewhat of a shoestring budget. This jacket as well only comes in at £206.98 for us at the moment on the Urban Rider website. There are similar other items that you might want to consider at similar prices and similar kind of safety, but they don't have the same armour that you will get with the Knox Urbane Pro. Those are the Pandomoto shell, if you prefer the look or the style of that, works very similar to this, but the reason we prefer this is because of the armour. Or if you want the Tucano Urbano Ovetto, which we reviewed recently, that is a fleece-lined jacket, so it will be slightly warmer than this, but maybe not quite as versatile when it comes to the warmer months. As I say though, the Urbane Pro is our preferred choice if you're looking for this option because it is CEAA approved and it comes with that Knox Microlock armor. And as far as the fit goes on this, again, we found it to be fairly true to size. That then is our complete list. Let us know down below if you agree or disagree with our choices. Before you go, let me just say that for more in-depth reviews, we have links in the description. You will also find links to these on our website where you will find a size guide. If you're looking to buy any of these for yourself, it may reassure you to know that we offer free returns in the UK on anything over £50. We also have a loyalty scheme where you can earn points and money off future items, and we price match all of our clothing as well. So check out the links in the description and check out the Urban Rider website if you haven't already. Thank you very much for bearing with me. I will see you in the very next video for more of the world's finest riding gear. Bye-bye.